All right, well, I made it to the Scenic Beach State Park out here in Seabeck, and I'm just out here for one night, just a real quick car camping trip. And I don't really have much of an itinerary for things I want to take photos of. I have my wildlife set up. I'm probably a week and a half, 2 weeks too late to see all of the eagle and heron action out by Beef Creek over there, but I think I'm going to do a couple hikes this afternoon, see what we can see. I've got my Leica M11P with me and a couple lenses there. I'm going to wander around the state park until my campsite is ready, get that set up, and then head out on a hike. So I think this weekend is just more about being out and being away from Seattle and kind of just slowing down a little bit, I guess, if that makes sense. So just had lunch, lots of cold pizza, and ready to go and take some photos. So let's see what there is, wander around a bit, then go to the campsite, then go to the hike. Okay. Well, I made it to the campsite. It is officially open. I'm here, and my camp setup is that chair. So I'm going to sleep in the car tonight. When it's just one night, I don't think it's worth setting up the whole tent, bringing all that stuff. I can just bring an air pad and sleep comfortably in the car. So speaking of, I think I'm going to take a little nap before heading to the first hike. I just walked around the park for about 2 miles, about an hour, getting some photos. I think I said I was going to do that before getting to the site, so that's redundant. Anyways, yeah, you can hear the roads right there. Last time I was here, about a year ago, I was on the other side of the park, a bit quieter, but I wanted to try this side so that I can kind of have a balanced perspective. Either way, these sites are huge. This is a great spot to come with if you have multiple tents. I mean, you could fit 2 or 3 tents here easily, and multiple cars. I mean, this area up there is just gigantic. So this is a great park, probably the most privacy I've ever had in a state park, and I've camped in quite a few state parks here in Washington, so I definitely recommend. But yeah, so for now, let's have a quick nap and then head out to the next spot. Okay. All right, well, I've got my nap in, and I made it to the bigger hike of the day down at Guillemot Cove. It's about 3.5, 4 miles round trip, I think, and it dips way down, so the way back, there's a lot of elevation gain, but the end of the trail ends at this cove, and it has this beautiful view of the Hood Canal. And there's also a weird house made out of a tree stump that's kind of cool. And so while I'm walking down the trail, I don't think I'm going to see a lot of birds or a lot of wildlife, really, but I'll have my M11P slung around my shoulder, and I'll be carrying my 1DX3 along with a 500mm lens just in case. but I think I'll be mostly getting shots of the trail itself. This is all like new growth forest. I think this all used to be a logging area. So the trees are really thin. They're really kind of thick together, and that might lend to some interesting photos. I don't know. But the end of the trail is going to be really pretty. So I'm excited to see that. And yeah, and just get to it. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's quite a few cars here in the parking lot, but I think a lot of them are going to be probably coming up as I'm going down. So I hope to have some of that cove to myself. We'll see. It might be crowded. People swim down there sometimes too. So anyways, it's a great afternoon. So far, fingers crossed. It's not raining, and I hope it doesn't. But yeah, we'll take it as it comes. But okay, let's head down there. Alright, well, I made it down to the cove. Fortunately, all the families that were down here, and there were a few, all went straight up the trail right as I was getting in, so I have the whole place to myself now. The tide is coming in, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of birding action down here. I see swallows, and I heard an owl on the way down, but I don't think that's going to manifest into anything. Regardless, it is such a pretty spot here, and it is so calm and peaceful, so I'm glad to be here, and I am getting shots with the 35mm here, so that's something. But alas, the 500 f4 will not be used a lot today, and that's okay. But I did encounter a gorgeous Douglas squirrel on the trail down, and it chirped at me, and I chirped at it and got some good photos there, I think. So that's not a total loss. I'm always happy to see a good squirrel. But all in all, I'm gonna hang out here a little bit and go over to the stump house and head back up to the car in a little while. So yeah, how peaceful though. I mean, what a beautiful spot, right? Wow. Okay. I made it to the stump house. I have no idea what the story is here, why it's here, but it's kind of cool. It's a cool photo op. Yeah, so that's about it. Got some photos. I'm gonna head back. I think the weather might be hitting. I felt some raindrops on the way in, so let's see if we have to pack up this camera and scoot back to the car. Okay. Right, I'm back at the campsite. The trick is to bring everything in one big bag. So I've got my food, got my camping cooking stuff. I'm going to have some of this for dinner. And ironically, I realized as I was setting up the bed in the car, here, let me show you what the sleeping arrangement's going to be like. So, I've got an inflatable pad right there, and the seat's down. Usually it's pretty comfortable. I forgot to bring a sleeping bag. So, fortunately, I have this in the car, which is dirty and kind of gross. I actually use that as a kind of a carpet for whenever I have the tent out and I'm doing tent camping. That's going to be my blanket tonight. I'm going to sleep wearing a coat because it'll be probably kind of cold. So that's silly. Michael called me when I got to the park and he's like, "Did you forget your sleeping bag in the living room?" And I did. So that's okay. Fortunately, it's not winter. It shouldn't drop too far below 40 tonight. So that's good. But I'm going to go ahead and make some dinner and watch a movie I downloaded on my iPad. And then, yeah, call it a night. So let's go ahead and start cooking. Alright, and now all that's left is to eat this stuff real fast before all the mosquitoes swoop in and try and eat me for dinner. And then I can move my movie viewing into the car. I don't want my car to smell like 3-bean Mexican quinoa bowl while I'm going to bed. So I'm going to eat it out here, risk the mosquitoes. But yeah, not too shabby. Okay. Alright, I'm back in the car, and I'm kind of in my living room right now, right? So I've got a little dangly light. You can see back here, bed. Always bring a portable battery, so that's charging. And yeah, I'm just going to hang out back here. It's actually quite spacious, and it's actually quite spacious in the Subaru Outback. So a lot of legroom, very comfortable. The seat actually reclines a little. Ooh, fancy. And yeah, it's got a movie theater now. Okay, so this is gonna be how I spend the rest of my night. Speaking. Okay, so I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow morning, or later tonight, but probably tomorrow morning. Okay, bye. No, maybe later tonight, because I got to show the bed thing set up, or I don't know. Anyways, bye. All right, good morning. It is about 6:30 in the morning. I think I slept about 7.5 hours, just better than I thought I would get. So I'm not too displeased about that. Definitely cold. So this little moving blanket thing, just filthy. It's been in the trunk of my car for a long time. Was not quite enough to keep me warm, and I do regret not bringing a sleeping bag. So I try to be bundled up as possible. And but that's okay. I think I got enough sleep. I'm feeling good. So I'm gonna get up, make some coffee, figure out the tide schedule. I'm pretty sure low tide is at 8:49, so probably want to get there in about an hour early. If there are gonna be eagles or gonna be photographers. But in the meantime, let's make some coffee and get out of bed here and pack everything up. Okay, let's go. Alright, well, low tide is at its lowest in like 20 minutes. And if there is eagle action out there, and if I had wanted to capture it the best, I should have been there about 45 minutes to an hour ago. As it stands now, I'm going to get there not at the best time, but I really wanted to see this section of the park again without anyone here in the morning light, so we're just playing it fast and loose. I don't know what I'm going to see. It's Monday morning, so it may not be too crowded with other photographers, but on weekends the spot I'm going gets really, really crowded, so I don't know what to expect, or if I'll see anything out there, or what. So if it's too crowded, or if I miss my chance, then we'll go on a hike. If not, I don't know. So I guess we'll find out together. Okay, let's go. Alright, well, I ended up actually having a pretty good showing out at Beef Creek. There's about 5 eagles, mostly mature, a couple juvenile, a lot of blue herons, and the tide went way out over the oyster bed, so I was able to get a few shots of the eagles swooping down. They kind of fly over, and then as they're looking down to look for the fish, I think they're bull trout, I'm not entirely sure, they just turn on a dime and just crash down into the water to pick one up and carry it away with them. So I think I got a couple shots of that. I think I got a couple shots of them kind of locking talons in the air trying to grab the fish from one another, which was pretty cool. And I also got a few video clips coming in there, so that works out pretty well too. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with that. A few weeks ago, there was probably several dozen eagles out there as the trout was coming in greater force. So kind of at the tail end of that. There's probably maybe 10 photographers out there, maybe fewer than that, which isn't too bad. Last time I was out here, the beach was just lined with people and tripods, so didn't mind having more room to myself. And yeah, now I'm here at Gold Creek Trailhead. I don't know if it's going to rain. The clouds are a little dark. It is a little windy, so hopefully it doesn't. But this trail, I think mile and a half up, ends at a beaver pond. It's been a while since I've been here, so I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how far we can get. before I have to turn around. I only have about an hour here, so let's head into the forest here on Green Mountain and see what we can see. Okay. Alright, well I made it to the beaver ponds, and this is a big beaver complex. So, I don't know, I'm going to kind of just hang out for a second, see what birds come near. I'll probably walk up the side of the beaver complex here for a little bit, see if there's another viewing vantage point. This trail's not as bad as I recall. It's only about a mile to get here. I think last time I came here, I went up and over a different path that added like a mile to it and was really strenuous. So this was just super easy walk, which is great. Yeah, so this is a beautiful spot, very serene. Let's see if any birds will deign to flutter a little closer. Maybe we can get a shot, maybe not. We'll find out. Alright, well, heading back to the car, almost there. Met a friendly lady and her daughter looking at butterflies and snakes. That's pretty cool. And yeah, didn't get any bird action today. I heard an owl. I saw it briefly fly across the path, but not a good shot. And I hear the thrushes and the wrens and all these things out in the trees, but nothing is close enough to photograph. Even when I was hanging out a little earlier by the ponds, nothing came close. So this big lens was just for the exercise. I think I've gotten some good landscape shots, but all in all, beautiful afternoon to be out here. Boy, you could spend a long time on this trail because it meanders around the mountain. There's multiple viewpoints. There's little side trails. Yeah, if you just wanted to be in nature, this is the spot. So not a bad way to spend a Monday. Now, I think it's time to go find some coffee. All right, well, I just got my coffee. I am going to head home, unpack, do some laundry, take a shower, start editing these photos to share. So thank you so much for coming along with me this weekend. It was a short trip, but I feel like we packed a lot into it and got a lot of photos. I have no idea what the video footage is going to look like, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to edit all of this together. So your guess is as good as mine, and hopefully by the time this is, me talking in this published video, it looks okay. So anyways, thank you again. I hope you had a wonderful weekend as well. And yeah, let's go out and plan the next trip and get more photos in. Okay, take care. Bye.